Hello and welcome to the pressing matter in the second month of 2025, and we're really excited as we continue to bring you critical matters that matter to you and your communities. Today, we take a closer look at the drugs and substance abuse, the efforts that have been done to combat this critical issue. I am Peter Tanyanyiwa. Join me as we get to find out. Thank you so much for joining me. Now I'm joined by Mr. Tanyanyiwa, who has got a group of youth that is fighting drugs with. Can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. My name is Tanyanyiwa, the Secretary for Zimbabwe Youth Against Drug and Substance Abuse Commission. This commission is working with the Interministerial Task Force, which was set by the President in 2022, for us all as Zimbabweans to fight against drug abuse within our youth, within our communities. We are the youths that are facing our fellow youth who are using drugs. We have seen it as our mandate to make sure how best can we help our fellow youths. So we have taken it as a commission to work with government, Ministry of Youth, Zimbabwe Youth Council, and go to every province and every constituency. We have to talk about drugs and help our fellow youths.
This is exciting news. You are going to every province and you are talking to young people who are most of the users of drug and substance abuse. Okay, so I just want to know, what are some of the projects that you are implementing with these other stakeholders that you are working with in order to combat drug and substance abuse?
Thank you. We are using, as the commission, we are using the bottom-up approach. Bottom-up approach, we are the youths at the ground. We are the youths in the ghettos. We see, we know where the bases are. How are we helping them? We are helping them using churches. We have moved in churches and making sure all the churches, our parents, we speak with the same word of saying no to drugs. We are going to do in each and every province a community-based campaign, which we are first, we need to make sure our parents know the drugs. Do they know which drugs are their children taking? We need to make sure parents support us in making sure if they see a bottle, they know this is broccoli. If they see a bulb, they would know this is the crystal meth. You might tend to find out that they are living with the drugs, living because they don't know. We need first to educate the parents.
I think that's a very good point that you've raised there. The parents need to know these drugs themselves. They need to know them, they need to identify them. All right, so in that manner, can you please maybe list some of the drugs that are being used in Zimbabwe, and also tell us maybe the long-term and short-term effects of some of these dangerous drugs that are being used?
Thank you very much. The drugs and substance abuse are plenty. In Zimbabwe, we know of broccoli, we know of soda pain. The Benylin, there is no longer Benylin for flu. Benylin is now used as a replacement to broccoli. We talk of crystal meth, we talk of cocaine, we talk of those small bottles, red tops, that substance abuse with the 90% alcohol content. All those types of drugs and substance abuse are being sold in our country, which we need to make sure we stop.
All right, so in that manner, as an organization as well, and working together with the stakeholders that have mentioned, what are the plans that are there maybe to put in place rehabilitation centers, and also to make sure that there are support systems that will be that can also help those who will be affected, those drug users, so that they can recover?
Thank you very much. As the commission, as the Zimbabwe Youth Drugs and Substance Abuse Commission, our mandate for 2025, we have said our youths as the future leaders have been destroyed. What we want to do, we have written to the parliament. Through the interministerial task force being led by Comrade Muchinguri and other ministers. We are writing to parliament so that we have a policy on 210 constituencies. In all the 210 constituencies, at every council clinic, there should be a rehabilitation center. There should be a rehabilitation center. There should be someone who is always there, she or he, helping our fellow youths at any given time. This will help in making sure if a parent has seen one of our youth using drugs or has also been affected by drugs, you don't need to call a rehabilitation center in Norton. We will just go by the clinic. We have council clinics that we can use and make them rehabilitation centers. We are willing to make sure that each and every constituency has a rehabilitation center, and we are given the opportunity. We have learned psychologists in our country that will help. We have doctors that can help. We need the government to come and support as the commission, working together and make sure each and every council clinic has a rehabilitation center, and every youth can get help.
All right, that's a valid point right there. So just as we round up, can you maybe, looking forward, can you tell us what are some of the initiatives that you are thinking of putting in place? Because I believe that recreational facilities also play a role in making sure that young people don't waste their time doing drugs, but they can maybe do something creative with their minds rather than wasting it away. So just as we round up, what are some of the plans that you think can be viable?
The plans that the commission has, on number one, we have the waste and management recycling, which would think that in every constituency again, we empower the youth. We know in our country we have limited jobs. We need to have empowerment project for the youth. Anyone who has finished the O level, who has finished the A level, who are already in the streets, we need to make sure they are empowered. How? We are going to have centers, waste and recycling centers. You bring plastic bottles, you bring bottles anyway, we pay you. We'll use these bottles, pay plastics, recycling them. These are part of the empowerment that will be done in each and every constituency with the youths, so that we capture them at the same place. We are also going to look at the sporting arena. Sporting arena is a good one. We need to start, as we have said, bottom-up approach. We can't talk of Scotland before we've not talked of the under-9. We need to make sure each and every school we visit, we say every afternoon, if it is a sporting activity, let it be done. We don't want to see, when school closes at 1, we don't want to see youth going around the streets. If they go around the streets with nothing to do, there will be no zesa. What will they think of? So each and every school should have a timetable to stretch to 4 o'clock. As the commission, in all the 210 constituencies, that will be our program for 2025. We pray and hope God will be leading us, and with His might, our country, our youth will be the best. Our future generations will forever cherish the work. Thank you.
It starts at the grassroots level. Wise words from Mr. Tanyanyiwa. Stay tuned. I am joined by the chairperson of ZNOART, a residents body that represents all other residents associations in Zimbabwe, Mr. Shalvar Chikomba. Please welcome and introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. As you said, my name is Shalvar Chikomba, and I'm the national chairperson for the Zimbabwe National Organization of Associations and Residents Trust, ZNOART in abbreviation. Our main focus, it's service delivery, community development, gender and social welfare, transparency and accountability, and lastly but not least, drugs and substance abuse.
All right. So I can only imagine just the number of communities that you deal with, since you deal with a number of residents associations across Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, can you please just tell us what are some of the challenges that different communities are facing in Zimbabwe in dealing with drug and substance abuse?
Well, there are so many challenges which our communities are facing. You see us as a resident organization. We are in the community. We are the community. So us coming here in trying to have an awareness campaign in terms of drug and substance abuse is to conscientize our residents of what happens when our children are being affected by drugs and substance abuse, and also to bring part of solutions and to talk to the family. You know what happens at family level if somebody doesn't have anyone to talk to in terms of a problem he or she has, it becomes a problem itself, then which can lead to drug and substance abuse as well.
All right. So I must applaud you here. You are at a school and you encouraging parents to look after their kids so that they won't fall to drugs. So you said something that I really liked when you were giving your speech. You said something about checking the kids' bags and stuff. Can you just tell us more about that and the partnership that you have with this school? And are you just ending here or you are going to go across the country?
Well, our theme for 2025, we have decided to look at the issue of drug and substance abuse because this really affects the future generation of Zimbabwe. You know, with the drunken youth, it means the whole of Zimbabwe does not have a future. So us coming here as a resident association, we partnered with Delft Mascot Primary School. We like the phrase that catch them young. We need to tell the kids how dangerous drugs are. We were also talking to parents. You know, we cannot talk of drug and substance abuse. We are leaving the parents as well, because parents are the guardians. They are the role models, as you heard me saying. Kids follow the footsteps of their parents. So I was saying parents need to do some checks and balances within their kids. They need to see what they eat, who their friends are, what they take to school, and what they do. That's where they can discover that my child is doing drugs or she's not doing drugs.
All right. Thank you so much for that. So I know that you work with the government and different stakeholders that you work with as an apex body for resident associations. I just wanted to find out what are some of the programs and maybe policies that the government is put in place, and also just measuring their success as far as that concerned.
There was a task force which was sent by the president, which is being led by Honorable Minister Mayam Chinguri, and we have seen it on the ground. But as residents, we haven't had much time to work with them. So we are calling on them. We are calling on government that the drug and substance abuse is within communities. The government needs to work with residents so that if we are to conquer this drug and substance menace, we do it together.
As far as rehabilitation centers are concerned,
that's one other thing which we think government has got to look at. The rehabilitation centers which we have here in Zimbabwe particularly, some of them are expensive. If you go to a government rehab center, there's not so much which is there. So we were calling on government as well to put more rehab centers which are cheaper, which our poor community can afford. Because we are looking at the best rehab centers in Zimbabwe. They are way too above what people can afford. But if you go to Perinatal, it's cheap, of course. But we need more of those.
Yeah. As we round up, can you just tell us what is the role of the community and community leaders in fighting this drug and substance abuse animal, and also religious sects, the part that they can play, because some religious leaders don't even know where they can come in and how they can also help. Maybe you can just shed some light on that.
My wish is to have the drug and substance abuse being preached in churches, in communities, gatherings, in funerals, at weddings, wherever, because the drug and substance abuse is not being experienced at high level. This thing is happening within the communities which we live in, and the best way of tackling that problem is to start from grassroots. So that's where we are as residents. That's why we have decided to take this initiative to partner residents, to partner schools, to partner school kids, so that when we tell them this is bad, they know very well that this is bad.
Thank you so much. Partnerships are the way forward. Don't go anywhere. We are here at David Mascot Primary School, and business leaders are coming to support the fight against drug and substance abuse. Here I'm joined by a fellow business person who has come through to say that I will support young people from the grassroots level. So can you please introduce yourself and just tell us about the initiative that you have in mind?
Thank you very much for having me here. My name is Shafiq. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm the owner. And I'm very happy today that I'm here. I'm being partnered with the ZNOART with this campaign, with this drugs abuse. I'll put it in short, is that my main agenda here is that to empower the youth, the school leavers and ladies, I mean especially the girls. So I will give them opportunity to come, to join us, and we give them zero deposit the stock, and they can go and sell, and then they can bring money back, and we give them another one with zero deposit. So they cannot have chance to move around on the streets and be addicted with drugs or being abused by the wrong people. So that is our main agenda, and I will be also requesting to the business community, as I'm here today, I would want more people to come and join us to support ZNOART, so we can have more strength and we can become together and we can fight against this child abuse, drugs abuse. And this is our country, this is our children. Let's fight together. We are here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this initiative, and you did say it right. Drug abuse, child abuse, it goes hand in hand, and you cannot separate the two. So how do the people find you, and also where are you located, so that they can try and see how they can work together with?
Okay, very good. We are here in town, Harare, Bishop Gulf and Rotten Road. We're close to City Council, JP, close to Budget Motors space. Budget Motors also is ours. So that's where we are, and our contact numbers 0772 946 120 and 99751 708. So please contact us anytime. Who interesting to work. We are here to serve them. We are here to train them, and we will look after them.
Right. So for you to start this initiative, obviously, you had seen a certain trend as far as drug and substance abuse. Can you just tell us maybe what you witnessed and what inspired you to come up with such a noble initiative?
You see, especially ZNOART, ZNOART, this is an organization which when they actually representing the residents, and with their capacity, what they're doing, and I also become impressed from them, and that's what I've decided to say, no, let's start together, and I'm impressed by them by doing their job, like especially they're doing before in other schools. That's what I was impressed, and now that I wanted to be part of them. So I was impressed by ZNOART, and I'm there to support them. I want to be part of them, and I want business community, all the business stakeholders to come and join us.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining us. I'm joined by yet another community leader from Harare, and she's going to tell us how she is fighting drugs and also empowering young women to rise up to the occasion. Ma'am, can you please introduce yourself and just tell us maybe how bad is the drug and substance abuse in the areas that you operate?
Yeah, my name is Tracy. Drugs are very bad in my area because so many others youth have nothing to do, so they spend their time on drugs.
It's really sad. Okay, which are some of the devastating effects that you've seen from other young, especially young women that you've witnessed with these drugs?
Those young women who use drugs, they don't care for their kids. They don't pay school fees for their kids. They don't even care for themselves.
That's very sad.
Yes.
So what is maybe your appeal maybe to local authorities, because we know that local authorities have the mandate of the cities and the towns. What is your appeal to them so that at least these young people can make the recreational facilities so that they can spend their time better?
Yeah, my appeal as a resident to the authority is to come projects to teach the young mothers, youth, and all those who are not going to work so that they can earn anything from them. Or else they can start a project of waste separation can help also.
One word that you would want to leave to the viewers as far as the drug and substance abuse problem is concerned?
One word I would like to leave to the viewers is that we say no to drugs, and I would like to thank ZNOART in partnership with Zim Biscuits for this awareness, because there is this phrase which says catch them young. All these kids at this school are being educated, so I would like to thank them a lot. Out there, I would like to say a word. So be punctual and don't get so much with those drugs, because they will end up your life into danger.
There is no better way to say it. No to drugs station. We're joined by yet another community leader from Norton. Say, welcome and please introduce yourself.
My name is Wangana Mzinda. I stay in Norton, Katanga area.
So just how bad is the drug and substance abuse in your area, and also what are some of the effects that you have noticed from young people and maybe other older people who are using these drugs?
When you talk of issue to do with drugs, because everyone is affected. It's either you're infected or affected. If you look, most of our youth is spending most of the time still doing nothing. So as a community, we are saying let's work together. One thing we can do to make sure you can do something to do. As you know, as a community person, we've got a lot of waste in our areas. Why not the youth come together and form groups, collect waste and sell them to the community? This will help them to achieve one way they think they are lying idle. And as a community, we are supposed to say this issue of drugs and substances is not for a single person, but for the community to work together. If you see someone selling a drug, you must report to the nearest police station. How are we going to do? Anonymous, there's a data place, but in anonymous cell numbers so that you can report those drugs abuse. And as a community, you cannot allow your house to be used as a base for selling of drugs.
All right, so as far as Norton is concerned, what are some of the efforts that you've made in this area, and also do you have rehabilitation centers for some of the users who would want to convert?
Currently, as the Norton area residents and Kingston residents, we have tried to use these campaigns, drug campaigns awareness, to make sure that everyone is helpful. But the issue of rehabilitation is the major challenge. We don't have a rehabilitation area where those guys who are affected by drugs go. So currently that's the main issue which we need the government to help us to have a rehabilitation center so that we allow our youth and those who are affected to be rehabilitated in those areas. That's the biggest challenge that we have.
As we close, we're rounding up. What are some of the drugs that are being used in this area that you know?
Yeah, we've got what we call Kamba, we've got Choriro, we've got Mbanje, and even alcohol. Those are the areas those are the drugs that are being used by our youth and our older people. We are surprised that we thought this thing is only for the youth, but even the older people are now in those drugs. So to some extent, we are saying it's no longer about, it's now we talk about our spiritual warfare and our economic warfare. Because these young ones, tomorrow there's no generation that is coming out from this one. They're not going to get married. Then these guys, they've been destroyed. They cannot work anywhere because of this. So as a community, let's work together. Let's work as a government to help these menace which we are currently facing.
Wise words. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Let's work together as a community. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of The Pressing Matter. Remember, change starts with awareness and collective action. Stay informed, stay tuned. Until next time.